Recently, someone left a comment on one of my YouTube videos and suggested that if I had a little extra love in my life, maybe I would forget the British and their colonialist ways and colonialist brutality, or I would forget about Europeans in general and how they brutalized the world into colonialism and are still doing with the help of North Americans. And again, suggestion was that if I can just find a little extra love in my life, I would forget all past colonialism and current colonialism attempts by the Pinkskins. This is a letter to that person, which I'm assuming is probably British and most likely Pinkskin. I want to let probably it's a her, it's a woman of pink-skin origin from the British Islands. I wanted to let her know about my feelings towards my understandings of love and what love is. Here's the thing, dear lady. Uh, I don't see love the same way you see love. I don't consider love as this emotional, spiritual thing that comes out of your heart or whatever, maybe a little lower, maybe it comes out of your kidneys or your liver. No. To my understanding, love has nothing to do with emotions, and it has nothing to do with uh, feelings. It has nothing to do with spirituality and spirits and soul and all this nonsense. Uh, to me, love is basically an equation that each person uh, has to solve. What, those who are looking for love, they basically have an equation that they are solving or trying to solve. That's it. It's an equation. It's a mathematical equation. This is what you consider as love. And the equation is very simple. The equation is the objective of the equation. The answer is who can help me help myself better. That's it. Who can help me take care of myself better? And there's this equation on the other. This is the answer. Who can help me to help myself better? It comes out of self. You can consider like or self-love or self-like or self-preservation, whether be it preservation in person or preservation of the DNA for the future generations, preservation of the sequence of DNA for the future, preservation of the programming, the software, the hardware, the sequence of the DNA. To preserve that, everybody solves an equation, and the answer is who can help me preserve this hardware, the sequence of my DNA better, or who can help me to preserve myself better while I'm still alive, as long as possible. So it's not about the other. Love is not about the other. It's about self. Every fucking thing in this world goes back to self. Self-preservation forces you, the idea of self-preservation forces a person to seek another person that they believe would help them preserve themselves better. Whether, again, personally or preserve their sequence of DNA on this planet. And this is the answer of the equation. The face of the equation is basically the parameters, the unknowns that one has to fill in order to find that person. Sort of like those characteristics that one is looking for to put on the other side of the equation. So the answer would be self-preservation. That's love, in my view. And it's and you can go over it. You know, many the other side of the equation, the face of the equation, has many factors, from age restriction on who can help me preserve myself better, has to be within these age limits. From wealth restriction, has to be within this level of wealth or this level of generation of wealth, production, income, to this level of intelligence within this restricted level of intelligence, to um, the way a person looks, how pleasant the facial structure and how pleasant is the body structure is, acceptable within restrictions. So once you look at it, you might not believe it at first, but if you think about it, you will reach the same conclusion I have. That just let's say right out of the blue, why don't you think that average people with average IQs rarely, if ever, fall in love with a retarded person, with a person of IQ below, let's say, 70 or 90 or whatever it is? Quite simple. If you bring the most beautiful girl in the world, and her IQ just happened to be, 75. She hit her head when she was a kid somewhere, and she had an accident, and IQ went from normal to below normal. Why don't you think that not absolutely no man, although she's extremely beautiful, absolutely no man would fall in love with her? Maybe for a short term, as in like having sex with, but not for a long term, as in like raising a family with. Because again, that person, her IQ falls out of the restricted area of acceptable IQ for a long-term mate. But I guess it would be acceptable for the would be within the restrictions of the factors that are necessary for a short-term love relationship, sex. So my point is this: everyone has this puzzle to solve. It's an equation. Everybody has this equation to solve. Your equation might be different from your friend's equation. That's why you're attracted to different people. And this attraction, again, goes back to the equation. Who will help you solve your equation to help you, in your view, who would be necessary to help you take care of yourself better? It's never, ever about the other side. Even those people who keep on going and on about how they love another person and how they will die for another person is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's about self-preservation. Let's give another example. Let's say two people are in love and are set to get married within, let's say, a year's time. And suddenly and they have been, best pal, buddy, girlfriend, boyfriend for a decade, and suddenly 6 months before they have to officially sign a contract of their love, let's say 6 months before it, one of them has an accident, and he or she loses half of his face or her face, and she basically, there are no more lips to kiss. There's a hole that he eats through, or he breathes through. There is just a hole there. There are no lips to kiss. There's no nose to rub or whatever. So the point is this: 9 out of 10 times, the normal person will walk away from that relationship with a broken heart, with a lot of frustration, because they have put so much into that relationship that they were hoping to take out of, finding a person who will help them take care of themselves for the rest of their life. But now they have to go and search for another person who fits their criteria and helps them solve their equation. But nevertheless, they will 9 out of 10 walk away. Same thing if the person, decades of relationship, and suddenly one of them has an accident and becomes retarded as a result of that accident. Was an IQ of 120, and suddenly after an accident has an IQ of 75. You don't think the other person will walk out of the relationship, that lovely relationship? Of course they do. So this all accumulates, and it shows you that there are unknowns in this equation that one fills in with specific numbers, with specific factors to solve this equation. Who can help me best take care of myself? Me. So if there is anything, it's self-love. There is no love of others. We are cannibalist apes. We human beings are cannibalist apes. We don't even like other people. We pretend we do. It's all about self-love and self-like, self-preservation. Best to put it, best not even use the word love. It's about self-preservation. We don't even like other people. Anybody who says they like other people, they're lying. Maybe a priest says they like other people or they love other people because their job, their income, their livelihood depends on other people. Therefore, they keep on saying they love other people, but they really don't. They love themselves. It's self-preservation. They need to preserve their income, so they lie and say they love other people. Bullshit. There is no loving other people. Nobody loves anybody else. Nobody likes anybody else. It's all about self-preservation. A man who says, I love my wife, or I love my girlfriend, or other way around, or vice versa, it's all about self-preservation. They really like the other person because the other person is helping them, whether emotionally, physically, in whatever aspect, they're helping, that other person is helping this person take care of himself better or herself better. Therefore, that's love in their view. It's all about self-preservation. Again, and I'll give you a simple breakdown again, would be when you ask a person, why do you love this person? How come, how come they can't actually define it, because it's a big equation, as I went over it in the first, that it's an age limit, and then it's an IQ limit, and it's an income potential limit, and a wealth limit, and there is restriction, all types of restriction. And in reality, as I went over it, if you take any one of these factors and you change it overnight, then love will slowly go away. slowly or fast or slow, love will go away. So if love was separate from these factors, if love was something spiritual and any of that, love would have, not been affected by somebody's wealth changing overnight, somebody's income potential changing overnight, somebody's IQ changing overnight, somebody's beauty changing overnight, would not have been affected. But because we know that love is affected when one of these factors are changes drastically overnight, then you know that love is a combination of all these factors. And it doesn't stand alone on its own. Of course, you can say, yeah, I know people who, after marriage, something has happened and, you know, love has conquered. No, bullshit. Uh, After marriage is a contract. After marriage, some people feel more obligated to continue abiding by the rules of the contract that they have signed. The same people who stay with their partner after, um, you know, some heartbreaking events that changes who their partner is, those are the same people who will stay in a contract no matter what. They will not, if they have a mortgage in their house and their house goes underwater, they will not walk away from their house either. They feel some kind of obligations, you know, a commitment, obligation towards the contract they're signed. But if you tell them that, okay, somebody else or some institution will take even better help, will help your partner even more than you can help your partner. Believe me, if they are assured of that, they will walk away from the contract. They will walk away from the marriage after a horrible accident. It's just how much obligations, it's not love, it's just how much obligations they feel towards, keeping to their word that they have signed, the contract they have signed. So it's an obligation towards the contract that keeps them in a relationship, if in a marriage, if the other side has had some major issues. It's the obligation towards the contract, not love. Again, we can go over it. Love towards children, again, it's not love, it's self-preservation. In this case, the person is trying to preserve their own fragments of the DNA, the hardware, for the future, and trying to, self-preserve through preserving the offspring. It's again, I don't want to even talk about self-love or self-like, because a lot of people don't even like themselves, but they are still don't love themselves, don't like themselves. But it's programmed into us. Preservation is programmed in. Just like a cockroach is programmed into preservation and has to fuck and has to reproduce, so are we. This preservation, self-preservation, or preservation of that sequence of the hardware, that DNA, is what is forcing us to do all of this, to fall in love and reproduce and try to preserve the reproduction and help it as much as we can. Again, not love. All falls in under the category of self-preservation. Whether love for a partner falls under category of self-preservation, to love for children falls under the category of self-preservation. It's just we are giving it too much credit. We are giving this illusional, this elusive word, this elusive concept, characteristics, and we're giving it too many attributes and too many characteristics and too much credit. We're giving this attraction, this uh, this this fight for self-preservation. We are giving it too much. We are making it sound way nicer than it is. It's self-preservation, and it's very selfish, and it's very practical, very, you know, biologically, it's a very practical thing. But we keep, giving it a lot of branches and a lot of leaves and a lot of attributes, and we, write poems about it, and we, write stories about it. It's all about love, and love this and love that, and love the Lord and love this and love the church and love the Lord and love the saviors. And it's all bullshit. It's all about self-preservation. Who can help me take care of myself better? And we can go into many examples that how is it that very wealthy people usually end up, if they're married, they divorce, and if they're single, they usually stay single, or even if they do get married, the marriages are very short-lived, because wealth is one of those things that you can hire many people to help you better take care of yourself. So you actually don't need one person. You can have somebody to clean your feet, and somebody to manicure your hands, and you can have somebody to service you sexually, and you can have somebody to service you emotionally. You got a gigolo, and you got a prostitute, and you got a psychiatrist, and you have a manicurist, and you have a pedicurist, and so you really don't, your equation is solved. You actually don't need one. You don't have to. If you're very wealthy, you really don't have to. You don't need to actually look for the one. You have many. You can afford many to take care of you. So usually finding the one is an illusion, and the illusion is illusion is broken really fast. It's out of stupidity of wealthy people who get married, because they still think they have to solve that equation. They don't realize that they have already solved the equation with their wealth. They can, have different people help, better take care of themselves. They can have many people for that job of, better taking care of themselves. But they fall into the trap of, no, I have to find that one. Sort of like, well, you have 20 people helping to better take care of you. What do you think that one is going to bring to this equation that you're missing? And usually that happens to, for example, so famously, Elizabeth Taylor. She had like 5 marriages, 6 marriages. Again, she had the money, and she had the fame, and she had the notoriety, and she had everything that she wanted. All doors were open to her all throughout her life, but she was still trying to solve that equation, that finding that one. It's sort of like, how stupid can you be? You don't need the one. And that's why so many of these wealthy people, their marriages fall apart. It's not falling apart, it's just, or they call it, some of them say, we grew out of our marriage. Because when you have many people to take care of your many needs, you really don't, you can afford more than one. You can actually pay them to take care of your needs. You don't need a wife if you can have a maid and you can have a good-looking prostitute who does her job well, and a maid who does her job well, and a manicurist and a pedicurist who does her job well, and a psychiatrist who does her job well. And if you can have 20 people who do their job well towards you, can provide you a great service to help take care of you, then you really don't need one to find a one who can, take care of you. Help, So marriage is for poor people. In reality, marriage is for poor people because they can't afford many people to take care of them. They have to look for the one who can take care of, who can take care of most of their needs. And yeah, we should stop using this word love so often. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Just let's call it for what it is: self-preservation.